போய் டக்குன்னு வாங்கிட்டு வந்து அப்புறம் உட்காருன்றலாம் சேர்ந்து.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Oh, Shailesh Prabhu is with us.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna everybody.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
You're back from South Africa, Shailesh Prabhu?
I just got back, yes, literally. I'm joining the class, but I'll not be able to read it.
காசு என்ன
Okay,
மாத்திர இன்னும் சொல்றது இல்ல.
அம்மா கிட்ட தான் இருக்குதே, எழுதி தருவாங்க பேப்பர்ல எழுதி.
All right, let us quickly summarize what we did last class. I'll just share my screen. 1 second, I will summarize. Here. So we're in the 7th canto, if you remember, where Lord Nrsimhadev slayed Hiranyakashipu. And what happened after that? Demigods like Lord Brahma, they offered prayers, but still they were not able to pacify the Lord. He was still in his Ugra mood. It was very difficult to pacify him. So they got the idea, let this boy approach him and pacify him, because the Lord appeared because of him. So Prahlad approached him, and Lord, being very affectionate to his devotees, he took him on his lap, he patted him on his head, he smelled his hair, and it was described that just by the touch of the Lord's hand, Prahlad became immediately, enlightened and was able to offer very eloquent prayers. So we are now in the midst of those prayers. It goes from Shloka 8, from verse 8 till verse 15. And last class we did just few because they were quite elaborate purports, if you remember. So we did from 16 to 23, I think. I'll just quickly remind you what was the 16. Prahlad is expressing his fear from material life, from samsara. And this is healthy fear, because if we are afraid of Maya, if we are afraid of material world, then we are pushed to remember Krishna, to take shelter of him. So he is saying, I'm afraid of conditional life, I need your shelter. And then in the 17, he's describing the material dualities and miseries that we all experience in this material world. And then we heard about those remedies, material solutions for material problems, that although they might solve some problems, but they create other problems, different problems. So material remedies for material solutions create more problems. So the Prabhupada's recipe was spiritual solution for material problems, and spiritual solution was to take shelter of Krishna. And then in the next, in 18, Prahlad is describing what he's doing, and this is glorification of the Lord, Lila Katha, Tava Narasimha. So he just wants to glorify the Lord, to sing his glories, to hear and sing his glories. And this is our process, Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And this Shravanam and Kirtanam is supposed to lead to Smarana, to constant remembrance of the Lord. And then in 19, he's expressing how Lord Nrsimha is the only shelter. So as long as we have some other shelters, as long as we think somebody else or something else in this world will save us, then we cannot really take shelter of Krishna. This is like that example with Draupadi, when Dushasana was trying to disrobe her. As long as she was trying to protect herself, as long as she was calling out to Bhishma, to Drona, she had some hope that somebody else can save her apart from Krishna. Until that point, Krishna didn't react. Only when she, raised her hands and completely surrenders, and Krishna, you are the only shelter, then Lord intervened and helped her. So this was the point of this verse, that Lord Nrsimha, there is only shelter, and we even take shelter of him, he'll protect us without any doubt. But we have to really take shelter without, relying on something else. And then in verse 20, he's describing the energies, how everything is actually manifestation of those energies, and everything in this world is done through these energies. And in the next, how the shelter, taking shelter of the Lord, is liberating us from illusion, from samsara. And who is the controller of this illusion? The Lord is the controller. So if we take shelter of him, naturally we become free from Maya, from illusion. And so I think this is where we stopped. 23 was the next one, which is next set of verses. Experience of seeing the futility of material pleasures. This is what we are going to hear about now. I'll start reading and then we'll continue with your reading also. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam, Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat, Nashtapresha Badrishu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloki, Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki, Om Gyarati Virandasya, Gyananjana Shalaka, Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, 23. Drishtamhaya Divi Vibho Kila Dishnapanam Ayushriyo Vibhava Ichati Yan Janoyam Yesmat Pitu Kupita Hasa Vijrimbitabru Vispurjitena Lolita Satetu Nirasta. Translation, Vaishnava Prabhupada. My dear Lord, people in general want to be elevated to the higher planetary systems for a long duration of life, opulence and enjoyment. But I have seen all of this through the activities of my father. When my father was angry and he laughed sarcastically at the demigods, they were immediately vanquished simply by seeing the movements of his eyebrows. Yet my father, who was so powerful, has now been vanquished by you within a moment. Purport: within this material world, one should understand by practical experience the value of material opulence, longevity, and influence. We have actual experience that even on this planet, there have been many great politicians and military commanders like Napoleon, Hitler, Subhash Chandra Bose, and Gandhi. But as soon as their lives were finished, their popularity, influence, and everything else were finished also. Prahlad Maharaj formally gathered the same experience by seeing the activities of Hiranyakashipu, his great father. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj did not give any importance to anything in this material world. No one can maintain his body or material achievements forever. A Vaishnava can understand that nothing within this material world, not even that which is powerful, opulent, or influential, can endure. At any time, such things may be vanquished. And who can vanquish them? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should conclusively understand that no one is greater than the Supreme Great. Since the Supreme Great demands, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja, Every intelligent man must agree to this proposal. One must surrender unto the Lord to be saved from the wheel of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease. And Vishnu Thakur, he comments, I do not see anyone except you who possesses power. He's paraphrasing Prahlad Maharaj. He to whom I surrender will deliver me from samsara. I have seen the wealth, power, vibhava, and the lifespan of the devatas in heaven, who were destroyed just by the movement of my father's eyebrow raised in mockery. But he was destroyed by you. I recognize you as the Supreme Lord because of your extraordinary power. So here Vishnu Thakur, he says, he to whom I surrender will deliver me from samsara. This somehow sentence caught my attention. So the person whom we are taking shelter of, he's our deliverer. But first he has to be capable to deliver us. If we take shelter of a wrong person who himself is not delivered, who himself needs help to be delivered, then how can he deliver us? So liberated person can deliver. So certainly the Lord is one who is ever liberated. And then his representatives who are supposed to be liberated to be able to help us, to deliver us. But just let me go now back to the top. Here, he says people in general want to be elevated to Swarga, to enjoy the opulences there. Well, this is kind of ideal example from a Vedic culture, from a Varnashrama system, where people are cultured karmis or karma kandis who know about the heavenly system, the structure of the universe, who accept the Lord, who know about the devatas. And then by following the Vedas, generally through karma kanda, they are elevated to higher positions in this universe for material enjoyment. This is general. But nowadays, since it's Kali Yuga, nobody has any knowledge about the higher planetary systems. Hardly anybody knows about it. What to speak about performing Vedic rituals in order to be elevated to higher planetary systems. So the proper Vedic karmas you don't see nowadays. Hardly anybody. Maybe somewhere in India, some brahmanas who still perform some sort of yagyas and they want to go to Swarga. Otherwise, most of the people are ignorant vikarmis who perform all sorts of sinful activities. So what was the main point here in this purport? So however, high we might have been in life, however famous, eventually we'll face death. And all our opulence, our fame, popularity, our money, wealth, everything will be finished. And then what is going to be our next life is a question. So even such great personalities like Hiranyakashipu, actually Hiranyakashipu was much greater than this Napoleon, Hitler, Subhash Chandra. They were just for a few years on this planet Earth, a little famous for doing something. But Hiranyakashipu, actually, he controlled the whole universe. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Surya, they all fear him. So he was the most powerful person in the universe, most powerful demon that ever existed. And still he was finished. Then what to speak of such a small demons like Hitler or whoever modern politicians are. They'll be finished very soon. So we should never, that's the conclusion, that we should never, take shelter of these temporary material opulences and our position in this world, but take shelter of Krishna. And that might be actually difficult, because when you have all these things, when you have a lot of money, for example, when you have a lot of power, it's difficult to depend on Krishna, because you think, I can depend on my bank account. I have millions in my bank account. So you don't feel really urge, you're not in trouble, to depend on Krishna, because you think, I can buy everything and everything in this world. Or if you are some highly positioned, politician, you think that you can boss and order others. So this is not a very favorable position for a devotee to be, and that's why generally Krishna doesn't give his devotees, if he favors them, he doesn't give them these opulences, because he wants them to depend on him. He wants them to be humble, to take shelter of him. So these opulences, Janma, Aishwarya, Shuta, Shri, they are all obstacles on the path of devotion. And Queen Kunti, she prays that Lord makes her fully dependent on him, and to cut all material attachments. Okay, this is what I had about this, and now we can take turns reading. Dhanashree Mataji, would you like to read, please?
Yes, Prabhu, I will read. Yes.
You.
Tasma dasmushtanubritam aham ashitoshna ayushriyam vibhavam aindriyam avirinchiyat nekchamite viluntan uvi kramena kalamanupaya mam nijabrita parashwam. My dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasures enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to the end. As powerful time, you destroy them all. Therefore, because of my experience, I do not wish to possess them, my dear Lord. I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. By studying Srimad Bhagavatam, every intelligent man can get experience like that of Prahlad Maharaj through the historical incidents mentioned in this great literature of spiritual knowledge. By following in the footsteps of Prahlad Maharaj, one should again through sorrow experience, and that all material opulence is perishable at every moment. Even this body, for which we try to acquire so many sensual pleasure, may perish at any time. The soul, however, is eternal. Na anyata anyamane sarire. Bhagavad Gita 2.20. The soul is never vanquished. Even when the body is destroyed, an intelligent man, therefore, should care for the happiness of the spiritual soul, not of the body. Even if one receives a body with a long duration of life, like those of Lord Brahma and the other great demigods, it will also be destroyed, and therefore an intelligent man should be concerned with the imperishable spirit soul. To save oneself, one must take shelter of a pure devotee. Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payitke Keba. If one wants to save himself from material nature's onslaught, which arise because of the material body, one must become Krishna conscious and try to fully understand Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatwataha. One should understand Krishna in truth. And this one can do only by serving a pure devotee. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj prays that Lord Nrsimhadev place him in touch with a pure devotee and servant instead of awarding him material opulence. Every intelligent man within this material world must follow Prahlad Maharaj. Mahajano yena gataha se pantaha. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 17.186. Prahlad Maharaj did not want to enjoy the estate left by his father. Rather, he wanted to become a servant of the Lord. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 13.80. The illusory human civilizations that perpetually endeavors for happiness through material advancements is rejected by Prahlad Maharaj and those who strictly follow in his footsteps. There are different types of material opulence known technically as bhukti, mukti, and siddhi. Bhukti refers to being situated in a very good position, like a position with the demigod in the high planetary systems, where one can enjoy material sense gratification to the greatest extent. Mukti refers to being disgusted with material advancement and thus desiring to become one with the Supreme. Siddhi refers to executing a severe type of meditation, like that of yogis, to attain 8 kinds of perfection: anima, lagima, mahima, etc. All who desire some material advancements through bhukti, mukti, or siddhi are perishable in due course of time, and they return to material activities. Prahlad Maharaj rejected them all. He simply wanted to engage as an apprentice under the guidance of a pure devotee. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So what do you want? Since my father possessing such power and wealth was destroyed, I do not want objects of enjoyment. I asishyaha, knowledge to attain those objects, which is actually ignorance, pleasure of the senses, and even the enjoyment of Brahma. Since they are destroyed by time, I know that being at the side of your servant is the best.
So you want to tell us what you remember from here?
In this verse, Prahlad Maharaj explained the choice that he has made. The soul is eternal, and the body doesn't last very. All the fame, opulence, and wealth is very temporary. We don't get satisfaction in that world with these different elements. So he said that we should take shelter of the Lord, of the lotus feet of the Lord, to have the real happiness in life. This is confirmed here with details by Prahlad Maharaj.
Yeah, this is the main point. So Prahlad, he had direct experience in his life. His own father was that very powerful materialist who had everything in the world. Nobody had more than him. And then he was defeated. He lost everything. And now the Lord is asking him, please ask for blessings. So he had direct experience that even the one who had everything, he lost everything. So, and he's very intelligent. So why should I ask for these things that will be taken from me at the time of death or before? So why should I ask for something temporary? So he doesn't want to pray for this because he had experience by seeing the life of his father. Sometimes we think we need to have, direct experience in our own life to feel on our own skin how it's to lose everything and how and to realize that everything is temporary. And sometimes we do need, you know, to lose things and to become detached from them. But it's said that first-class intelligence is the one that that can understand things by hearing. You know, you hear, like here we hear from Bhagavatam, and then we get the realization, no, I don't need this material life. I don't need these material things. But even more powerful than by hearing is by seeing somebody who is close to you, like Prahlad had a father or somebody else. And we see the life of somebody who is close to us. And then just by observing his life, how much suffering material life is, and then we also lose the desire for material life. So it's not necessary that we need to go to the school of hard knocks, that we need to be, you know, punched by Maya again and again, if we have first-class intelligence. Of course, if our intelligence is second class, then we might need, and then Krishna will help us. Maya will, you know, knock us here and there, we'll suffer here and there, and then eventually we'll turn to Krishna and become completely dependent on him. And this is our own good. So that's why suffering, even in the life of devotee, suffering is something that is actually welcome. That's why Queen Kunti, she prays, you know, may these dangers happen again and again. Why she would play like this if it was not for spiritual benefits? Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I wanted to add also something that seemed to be important.
Please.
We have to become the servant of the servant also. It is very important that we don't go straight directly to Krishna, but the servant of the servant is the best solution.
Yes, yes, thank you. This is good point. We wanna go through bona fide parampara of servants of the Lord, and not to think that we are so high. Sometimes also we think only me and Guru, me and my Guru, and all other God brothers, God sisters, we don't care for them. We just want to step on their heads. This is also not right. Only me and Guru. This is again like a mentality, only me and God, only me and Guru. I care only for Guru, for him I will do everything. And other devotees I'll just smash and I'll, you know, I will go over them. This is not also the proper mentality. We should also recognize the other devotees as well, not only the Guru. Plus, the Guru is not only one, and there are many Gurus. And if one is really humble, he thinks everybody is my Guru. Anybody else has anything regarding this verse and purport would like to share with us? If not, we'll continue reading. Who is there next? Chatura Mataji, would you like to read, please?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Please.
Kucha Shiksha Shruti Sukha Mrika Chisni Rupaha Vedan Kare Varan Mashesha Rujan Viro Her Vidyate Natu Janoyati Piti Vidwan Kamanaran Matu Davehi Sanmayan Dura Pehi. Translation. I cannot see. Yeah, in this material world, every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Where is water in the desert? Or in other words, where is happiness in this world? As for this body, what is its value? It is merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, politicians know this very well. But nonetheless, they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to attain. but because they are unable to control their senses, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world and never come to the right conclusion. There is a song in the Bengali language which states, I constructed this home for happiness, but unfortunately there was a fire and everything has now been burned to ashes. This illustrates the nature of happiness. Everyone knows it, but nonetheless, one plans to hear or think something very pleasing. Unfortunately, all of one's plans are annihilated in due course of time. There were many politicians who planned empires, supremacy and control of the world, but in due time, all the plans and empires and even the politicians themselves were vanquished. Everyone should take lessons from Prahlad Maharaj about how we are engaged in so-called temporary happiness through bodily exercises for sense enjoyment. All of us repeatedly make plans which are all repeatedly frustrated. Therefore, one should stop such plan making. As one cannot stop a blazing fire by constantly pouring ghee upon it, one cannot satisfy oneself by increasing plans for sense enjoyment. The blazing fire is power maha dawani. The forest fire of material existence. This forest fire occurs automatically without endeavor. We want to be happy in the material world, but this will never be possible. We shall simply increase the blazing fire of desires. Our desires cannot be satisfied by innocent thoughts and plans. Rather, we had to follow the instructions of Lord Krishna. Sarvatamam parityaja man mekam saranam raja. Bhagavata Gita 18.66. Then we shall be happy. Otherwise, in the name of happiness, we shall continue to suffer miserable conditions. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. What is this? Everyone desires enjoyment and power. Everyone is ignorant. Objects like a kingdom give happiness by seeing them only, like a mirage, or give happiness by hearing about them only. Since they actually do not give a drop of happiness because of worry, calamities, attachment, hatred, envy, and competition. Even if there is happiness, this is the greatest suffering because of inability to enjoy it, since the body is a place of disease. Knowing the nature of this happiness, a person pacifies the fire of desire by a drop of happiness, attained with difficulty, but the fire again springs up, and he does not become detached from it. So this verse tells something about the nature of the happiness and how this human beings and especially the philosophies and politicians, they aspire this temporary happiness by making many plans. And also in daily life, we also have this kind of experience. We make all kinds of plans to make us comfortable, to make us happy. But actually, this happy is temporary, and also it's only a drop, like an ocean drop, and like a mirage in the desert. It's all created by the illusory energy of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj tell us that we should not aspire for this kind of happiness. Actually, we should aspire the happiness from devotional service to the Lord. That's all.
Yeah, thank you. You gave very good Siddhanta. Yeah, the whole verse and purport is about the temporary nature of material happiness, and this analogy of mirage, seeing something in a desert that is not there. It's called, I think there is a word, Fata Morgana, something like that, you know. You are hallucinating, you're in a desert and you are completely, thirsty and have nothing to eat. And then on the horizon, you see oasis. And you run after that oasis, you're thinking, oh, the drinking water is there. But actually, it's just illusion, it's just a mirage that does not exist there. So the running for material happiness is like that. It's basically just a concept of the mind. It's just idea that we have in the mind. This thing will make me happy. If I get this, I'll become happy. If I get just this amount of money, or this job, or that husband, or that wife, or if I get this house or that car, I'll be happy. And what happens once you get it? You are still the same miserable person as before. You're not more or less happy just by getting it. There might be, some sense of enjoyment for first few days. You get a new gadget, new mobile phone, and you enjoy it for 3 days, and then you get bored after after that, and then you need something new and something new and something new. But actually, there is no enjoyment at all there. I remember when I was as a kid, I always enjoyed going to the seacoast. Somehow I enjoyed, swimming in the waves, and I was waiting for summer holidays in the school to go to the seacoast and enjoy swimming in the sea. And somehow it got stuck, in my mind, that there is some happiness and enjoyment there. And then when I grew up, I didn't go for quite some years, especially when I became devotee. I maybe didn't go for more than 10, 15 years. I didn't visit that particular sea coast. And just 2 years ago, I was going there again, and I was thinking, oh my God, I was remembering my childhood, happiness of swimming in that sea. So I was thinking, wow, this will be something great. And then when I came there, I swam once or twice, but then I felt, well, there's nothing here actually. It doesn't really make me happy. It was just an illusion in my mind that by coming here and bathing in this sea, I will enjoy something. But actually, once you are there, you realize there's no enjoyment. So this is material happiness. It's just idea about the happiness, not real happiness. You just think this particular thing will make me happy. But once you have it, it doesn't make you happy. And that's why you're looking for something new. And again, another idea, this other thing will make me happy. This, people have, husband or wife, and they think, oh, this person doesn't make me happy. I need to get a new one. So that person will make me happy. And they get a new one. But again, nothing changes.
A person.
Yeah, you want to say something?
A person.
It was Dhanashree Mataji, somebody was saying something, yeah, please.
I'm sorry, my microphone is open.
Okay, no problem.
to my mother.
If anybody else has any sort of realizations to share about the temporary nature of material happiness or anything here. Chatur Mataji, you had any
Yeah,
realizations from China? You tell us some Chinese happiness might be better than Indian happiness.
actually, several years ago, I moved to a new home, and then I made a very beautiful decoration of this new home.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be a very nice place to associate with devotees. So after I moved into this new home, I invited devotees to come here and celebrate many festivals every year.
Mhm.
But now I don't think. I also feel that this home is very good and very comfortable. I always try to make this looks very nice and comfortable. But now I don't think this home is nice. I want to move to another place now.
So the home doesn't give you pleasure anymore.
Yeah. Because I don't think it is good for my spiritual practice now, and also for my physical body. So
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this is some consideration. Yeah, sometimes things that look externally as something pleasurable, they might not be actually good for our spiritual health or
Yeah.
even for physical health.
Yeah,
Yeah,
have-
yeah.
Mhm. I have also an experience.
please,
Before
Nanda,
I
just
was Krishna consciousness, I like always to celebrate my birthday because you are getting gift. So I was always anxiety to have my birthday. But then when I came to Krishna consciousness, I was thinking it brings you closer to the dead. So what is the happiness about that?
Yes, that's nice. Thank you. Yeah, celebrating birthdays. This is somehow big thing in in the outside world. People celebrate, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're just coming closer to. Yeah, I also once kind of celebrated, and then I invited some people here and there, and then many of them didn't show up, and then I had to go and look who will eat this prasadam. Then I said, I'm not going to celebrate this anymore. So this is how it turns out if you try to enjoy something. All right, so let us see who is there next. I would like to read. Gunnar Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. क्वाहं रजः प्रभवैष तमोदिकेऽस्मिन् जातः सुरेतरकुले क्वा तवानुकम्पा न ब्रह्मणो न तु भविष्य न वै रमाया यन्मे अर्पितशिरसि पद्मकरः प्रसादः. Translation. O my Lord, O Supreme, because I was born in a family full of the hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance, what is my position? And what is to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi? You never put your lotus hand upon their heads, but you have put it upon mine. Purport. Prahlad Maharaja was surprised at the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. For although Prahlad was born in a demonic family, and although the Lord had never before placed his lotus hand on the head of Brahma, Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, his constant companion, Lord Narasimhadeva, kindly placed his hand on the head of Prahlada. This is the meaning of causeless mercy. The causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may be bestowed upon anyone, regardless of his position in this material world. Everyone is eligible to worship the Supreme Lord, irrespective of his material position. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatittaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Anyone who engages in continuous devotional service to the Lord is situated in the spiritual world and has nothing to do with the material qualities, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. Because Prahlad Maharaja was situated on the spiritual platform, he had nothing to do with his body, which had been born of the mode of passion and ignorance. The symptoms of passion and ignorance are described in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.19 as lust and hankering, tada rajas tamo bhava, kama lobha dayascha ye. Prahlad Maharaja, being a great devotee, thought the body born of his father to be born of passion and ignorance. But because Prahlada was fully engaged in the service of the Lord, his body did not belong to the material world. The pure Vaishnava's body is spiritualized even in this life. For example, when iron is put into fire, it becomes red hot and is no longer iron but fire. Similarly, the so-called material bodies of devotees who fully engage in devotional service of the Lord, being constantly in the fire of spiritual life, have nothing to do with the matter but are spiritualized. Srila Madhvacharya remarks that the goddess of fortune, the mother of the universe, could not get mercy similar to that which was offered to Prahlad Maharaja. For although the goddess of fortune is always a constant companion of the Supreme Lord, the Lord is more inclined to his devotees. In other words, devotional service is so great that when it is offered even by those born in low families, the Lord accepts it as being more valuable than the service offered by the goddess of fortune. Lord Brahma, King Indra, and other demigods living in the upper planetary systems are situated in a different spirit of consciousness, and therefore they are sometimes troubled by demons. But a devotee, even if situated in the lower planets, enjoys life in Krishna consciousness under any circumstances. Paratasvata karmataha. As he acts himself, as he is instructed by others, or as he performs his material activities, he enjoys life in every respect. In this regard, Madhvacharya quotes the following verses, which are mentioned in the Brahma Tarka. Shri Brahma Brahmi Vindradi Traikatat Sri Purusha Sri Puru Stutaha Tad Anye Chak Kramadeva Sada Muktau Smrtau Api Haribhaktau Cha Tajnane Sukecha Niyamena Tu Parata Swataha Karmatova Na Katanchit Tad Anyata. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura comments, even though there is no one as low as I, you have made me the greatest. How can I describe the greatness of your mercy? You put your lotus hand on my head and not on the head of Brahma, Shiva, or Lakshmi. Here, Prahlad Maharaja is describing about the mercy of the Lord for a person even in a form born in a low family also, low grade family. And he is telling that even though Lord Shiva or Lord Indra or Goddess Lakshmi, they had so much opportunity to serve the Lord in various ways, they didn't get the benefit or the mercy like what Prahlad Maharaj has got. So that's what is explaining, that the material qualifications or the birth in a low grade family is not at all a criteria for getting Lord's mercy. It's only the devotional service that makes a difference.
Yes, thank you. This is the point. Sometimes we pray to the Lord, give me your mercy, give me mercy. So what it means, give me mercy? What is our understanding? Or ask some devotee, give me blessings, give me blessings. What kind of blessings? I think there is somebody some gentleman who also was asking Prabhupada, Swamiji, give me your blessings. And Prabhupada told him, I bless you that you become one of us. Oh, no, Swamiji. He was very afraid, actually. He wanted blessings for his material life to continue, to get money and to continue his life. So what the mercy really is, can know only one who is truly sincere, that the material things, material position, name, fame, and everything else is not a real mercy. The Lord might bestow some of these things on some people, but this is not the real mercy. The real mercy is what Prahlad got. It's a pure devotional service. So unless we have clear in our head what the real mercy is, how can we pray for the mercy? We just say generically, "Oh, give me mercy." Mercy meaning that everything goes nice in my life. But no, this is not the real mercy. Sometimes the mercy might be that everything goes wrong in my life, isn't it? Sometimes that can be the mercy. Your life is collapsing, your material life is collapsing, you're losing everything. And that's the mercy, because then in that situation you might take shelter of Krishna and realize what the real mercy is. But when these things are happening, when you start losing everything, you think, oh, the Lord is not merciful unto me. But this is actually just a wrong perspective and wrong vision. He is merciful. Even if you are in trouble, He is merciful. He put you in that trouble in order for you to surrender to Him, to push you to turn to Him. Otherwise, as long as everything was very nice and smooth, you were not really pushed, you were not really urged to turn to Him, and you lived comfortably. We come into some sort of comfort zone. Everything is nice. I chant few rounds here and there. I eat some nice prasadam. I chat with devotees, go to a little bit to the temple, have a darshan, and that's the life of in the comfort zone. But how much advancement we are making by this sort of easy life? No, the advancement is made when we go out, when we step out of our comfort zone, when we do something that is not so easy to do, not just reclining on a bed, eating chips and chanting a few rounds. We cannot make much advancement by easy lifestyle. So that's why devotional life also means austerity, devotional austerity, spiritual austerity. Getting up early in the morning and then doing sadhana, and then also preaching, trying to help others. These are all austerities through which we get the mercy. Otherwise, just saying, give me mercy. And then when the mercy is given, are we going to take it? Like that man in the well, and somebody is hanging him down the rope, and he's asking to be saved. And then he's still saying, help me, catch the rope, But he has to catch the rope, but he doesn't want to catch the rope. He wants to be pulled out without doing anything himself. All right, yeah, this is some thoughts that I had on this. If anybody else has anything on the way how to get the mercy, or we will proceed to the next. Shantirupa Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu, I will read.
Thank you.
Naisha paravaramathirbhavato nanushyat janto yathatma surido jagatastathapi samsevaya suratarorivate prasada sevanurupamudayona na paravaratvam. Translation. Unlike any ordinary living entity, my Lord, you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, the favorable and the unfavorable, because for you there is no conception of higher and lower. Nonetheless, you offer your benedictions according to the level of one's service, exactly as a desire tree delivers fruits according to one's desires and makes no distinction between the lower and the higher. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord clearly says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As one surrenders to me, I reward him accordingly. As stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivera Sharupa Hai Krishna Nitya Das. Chaitanya Chaitamrita Madhya Leela 20.108. Every living being is an eternal servant of Krishna. According to the service of the living entity, according to the service the living entity renders, he automatically receives benedictions from Krishna, who does not make distinctions, thinking, here is a person in an intimate relationship with me, and here is a person I dislike. Krishna advises everyone to surrender to him. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. One's relationship with the Supreme Lord is in proportion to that surrender and the service one renders unto the Lord. Thus, throughout the entire world, the higher or lower positions of the living entities are selected by the living entities themselves. If one is inclined to dictate that the Lord grants something, one receives benedictions according to his desires. If one wants to be elevated to the higher planetary systems, the heavenly planets, he can be promoted to the place he desires. And if one wants to remain a hog or a pig on earth, the Lord fulfills that desire also. Therefore, one's position is determined by one's desires. The Lord is not responsible for the higher or lower grades of our existence. This is further explained quite definitely in Bhagavad Gita 9.25 by the Lord Himself. Yanti deva vrata devan, pitrin yanti pitri vrata, bhutani yanti bhutecha, yanti madhyajino apima. Some people want to be promoted to the heavenly planets, some want to be promoted to Pitriloka, and some want to remain on earth. But if one is interested in returning home back to Godhead, he can be promoted there also. According to the demands of a particular devotee, he receives the result by the grace of the Lord. The Lord does not discriminate, thinking, here is a person favorable to me, and here is a person who is not favorable. Rather, he fulfills the desires of everyone. Therefore, the Shastras enjoin, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desirous of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should, with all efforts, try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. According to one's position, whether as a devotee, a karmi, or a jnani, whatever one wants, one can get if one fully engages in the service of the Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. You do not consider high or low in giving your mercy. Brahma is high and I am low. You do not have a conception of higher or lower natures, like other person, Jantu, because you are the friend of the universe. Then, should I be merciful everywhere at all times? Just as a desire tree gives fruit according to one's desire and not a different fruit, you give results according to the degree of service arising by your mercy. not based on the high or low birth of the jiva. The cause is the degree of mercy.
Want to summarize?
Yeah. So here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that to Lord Nrsingadev that you do not discriminate between friends and enemies, favorable or unfavorable, because there is no conception of higher or lower for the Lord. Nonetheless, you offer benedictions according to the level of one's service, just exactly like a desire tree delivers fruits according to one's desires and makes no distinction between the lower and the higher. So this is very important for us to learn. So we should not demand any mercy just like that, but our demand or desire is to only remain at the feet of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sthataiva bhajamyaham. So as a person or a living entity is worshipping Krishna, Krishna awards him accordingly. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that what is that? Sharup Hoy, Krishna Nitya Das, means that we are actually the eternal servants of Krishna. That is our only, should be our only desire, to be the eternal servant of Krishna. And here in the Shastras, it is saying, in Bhagavatam, it is said that whether one is without desire or desirous of all fruitive results, whatever, but we should first have the desire to render loving devotional service to Krishna. So that is the main point or the final point in which Srila Prabhupada is giving Sarva Kama Kamadhi. So,
Yes, thank you. One sentence also caught my attention. I'm just trying to find it, that here. Thus, throughout the entire world, the higher or lower positions of the living entities are selected by the living entities themselves. Was this the one? Basically, that our desires, they shape our future, our situation. Whatever we desire, sooner or later, according to the pious credit we have, it will manifest. In the New Age movement, there is that so-called law of attraction, that people are taught that whatever they really desire, they just have to imagine and visualize, and in this way they will create that particular thing. For example, you want a red car, and you sit and you meditate on this red car, and somehow everything in the universe orchestrates that you get this car. So this is not 100% true, but there is some sort of truth, because if you are desiring something, the Lord, who is a super soul in your heart, might give you this if you have enough credit for that. But yeah, you also have to earn it. It's not that just by sitting and imagining and visualizing you can get things, but you have to perform also pious activity. in order to deserve these things. This is what law of attraction is missing. There is also part of karma, but definitely this desire component, the desire element is very important. But through our desires, we are creating our situation in this life and in the next. So the way how to make our life successful is to mold our desires that in such a way that they are favorable for the going back to Godhead. As long as we desire, material things, we'll stay in the material world. But even if we are still full of material desires, still, it's recommended to worship the Lord. It's much better, to approach Krishna for fulfillment of your material desires than trying very hard to fulfill desire yourself, to work very hard, or to approach a demigod, or to approach another powerful man and become his servant to fulfill your desire. No, if you really have the desire, okay, approach Krishna and render devotional service, and Krishna will fulfill your desire. But if you're lucky, he might not fulfill, actually. He might rob you of your desire. You might lose the desire.
No. Thank you, Prabhu. It is important, of course.
Yeah. So this is some considerations here, this akama sarma kamava. Actually, the karma khanda part, jnana khanda part, yoga, in order to yield success, they require at least a little of bhakti added to them in order to give success. Otherwise, no other process on its own can give success without bhakti being mixed with it. So that's why we have, how is it called? Karma Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Of course, we aspire not for Mishra Bhakti, we aspire for pure devotional service, unalloyed devotional service. But even those who have these desires, it's good for them to perform bhakti. And eventually, they will lose their material desires. So the one who approaches Krishna, he's lucky actually. He's fortunate. Who is approaching God? He's fortunate. Although he might be full of material desires, because he's approaching the right source, the right person. He's fortunate. And this is the beginning of his auspiciousness in this life. So let people come, let them desire so many things, but let them come and offer obeisances and do some worship of Krishna. That's why, we have, thousands and tens of thousands of people coming every day to the temple. And, most of these people, they don't really have idea of bhakti or anything, but they're coming and they're doing little service by having a darshan, by taking a little prasadam and hearing kirtan. They're starting to make some progress. When I was living at Govardhan, I remember, thousands and thousands of people going every day around Giriraj, Govardhan, doing parikrama. And it's quite some tapas, to walk 20-something kilometers barefoot, sometimes on the sun, when it's tapasya, takes you 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And you see the families of people doing it, wife, husband, children. Sometimes they're doing it in dandavat, the husband goes in front and the wife follows him by doing dandavat around Govardhan, and this takes at least 2 weeks, to complete. So it's quite some endeavor. It's the pasya. And most of them, I asked few of them, I want my daughter married, and I want, there was another one who was a businessman, so I want success for my business. But they had a faith that if they, approach Giriraj, who is non different from Krishna, that, their material life will get better. So they had faith in Krishna and they approach him for help in their material endeavors, which is, in one sense, praiseworthy. They approach the right person. Instead of trying themselves to be successful materially, they approach Krishna. So Krishna appreciates even those who are full of material desires, and he gives them what they want, but eventually he will purify them from these material desires. And eventually, one day, if not in this life, in the next life or in 2 lives, they'll come to the point of rendering pure devotional service without any material desires. So approaching Krishna for anything is always suspicious. Even if one is a demoniac person, if he approaches Krishna, it's suspicious. Okay, so let's... Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, I have one question.
Mhm.
That means we, before we enter the Krishna consciousness, we have many material desires. And after we join the Krishna consciousness, we also have material desires and spiritual desires. And after a period of time, we advance in our practicing. And then maybe we found that some of the spiritual or material desires is not so good. So how to do?
I'm not sure if I understand you. We find out that these material desires we have are not good. How to give them up, or what you're asking exactly?
Yeah, how to give.
How to give them up?
I mean, I mean that this desire already stored in our subconsciousness. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So how can we? But later when we advance and we learn the more knowledge, and then we don't have this kind of desires again.
Well, theoretically, we might understand that something is not good, but that doesn't mean that immediately the desire for certain thing will disappear. But at least what is in our control, whether we act on that desire or not act. For example, by taking initiation, we promise we will not do 4 sinful activities. So we might have desire to do some of them, but because we promised and we know this is sinful, we restrain from doing them. Desire might still be there, but we are not acting upon it because we promised we are not going to do it. And then eventually, as we are performing devotional service, as our consciousness is getting purified, our guna is rising. So we are going from tamoguna to rajo to sattva. We are getting purified. Eventually, we lose the taste and for these lower activities. We lose the taste we lose material desires basically as we are making advancement, but it's not going to happen overnight. So we have to tolerate. There is that verse in Bhagavatam, I think it was in 11th canto. Although my devotee, he knows that material enjoyment is not good, but still, at present moment, he's not able to completely give it up. Krishna says he should continue to worship me and be happy and have a faith that the day will come when he'll be free from these desires. So patience should be there, and we continue with devotional service, and by Krishna's grace, one day we will lose this desire. It's just a matter of purification and matter of time. But if we know the desire is not good, we should also not act on it, because you reinforce the desire by acting on it. For example, I walk by the shop and I see, nice mobile phone, iPhone in the window. So I desire to have it, and I don't have enough money to buy it. So what do? Do I break a window and steal it? Yeah, if I do that, I'm digging myself deeper and deeper in this desire. Yeah, I'm reinforcing this desire by acting sinfully. I'm creating another deeper samskara that will cause trouble in the future. Actually, all desires that we have now are the result of our previous activities, our activities in previous lives that created certain sanskaras. And now these sanskaras as desires manifest in this life. And then we again urge to act on it. But if we resist, if we do not act, we do not reinforce the desire. By not acting, by refraining, by controlling the desire, by not letting it manifest grossly on a external platform, we control it. Desire is still there in the form of the sanskara rooted in the mind, but we need to learn to tolerate it. And then by chanting Krishna's holy names and performing devotional service, eventually we'll be able to let it go. Eventually the sanskara will become obliterated. The sanskara will be wiped off by the power of Krishna's holy name. So yeah, this is the way how I see it. Was I answering what you were asking, Mataji, or you meant something else, Chatura Mataji? You
Yes,
have...
very good. But in our that's very good answer. Also in our daily life, I found that sometimes I already forgot those desires, but these desires begin to manifest before me.
Yeah. Sometimes we, yeah. This is good point. Sometimes we forget that we have
Yeah.
certain desires, and then when we are put in certain situations, something triggers this desire because the sanskaras are there in the chitta, in the subconscious mind. Sanskaras are there, and then they get triggered, they get activated only in certain circumstances. For example, somebody who was a thief and who had sanskara to steal. Normally, this desire do not come at any moment. Only when he is in such situation that he has the opportunity to steal something, that sanskara clicks in, activates, and then he feels tempted. Oh, should I steal it now or not? So at that moment, if he can control it and say, no, I know this is adharmic, this is sinful, I will not do it. So he controls that sanskara, that desire from the past. And then gradually, it's like a test. Either you pass the test, and if you pass the test, if he doesn't steal it at that moment, that means he's weakening that desire. The sanskara is becoming weaker and weaker, and eventually it will vanish. But if he yields to temptation, if he steals it, or he does again another sinful activity, he's addict, you're a drug addict or alcohol addict, and in front of you is a glass of beer, and if you're weak and you take it, again you are increasing your addiction, and you are reinforcing your bad samskara, and you're creating more trouble for the future. So somehow at the beginning we need to control it by intelligence, by understanding, no, this is not good for me. If I indulge in it, it will create more problems for me in the future. It will reinforce my desire, it will make my material desire stronger, and then next time again I will not be able to resist it, and it will just pull me more and more down. So one has to act on the level of intelligence, and means to be guided by the scriptural rules and regulations, not to do something that is detrimental to his spiritual life. And if we don't know, then we should ask somebody who can actually think properly at that situation. But generally, we just do it because it's just a second nature. But no, we should pause and think. Okay, let me think whether it's good or not to do this. Or if I don't know, let me ask somebody. Let me take some guidance. Yeah, things like this, the sanskaras and desires very complicated and a long subject. We could spend whole class talking about it, but we want to proceed a little further. Unless you have anything more, Chatur Mataji, or anybody else?
Yes,
The-
very good. I mean that sometimes when we found this kind of problems manifested before us, and it is also a text from Maya and the law, sometimes we are pulling down. But after maybe after a period of time, then we found it we are pulling down. We are not advancing.
Yes, sometimes we might fall for the temptation, fall down, but then what to do? You get up and continue. You continue chanting in any case, and then
Yes.
this chanting will purify you. But you just don't do it intentionally. This is the thing, you know. If by due to weakness of heart we fall for the temptation and we go for that desire, and then only once we are uh, down, we realize, oh, I did something that I was not supposed to do. Then what to do? You pray for forgiveness, you get up and continue chanting. But it's not that you have pre-planned plan. Oh, I will fall down now. Then this is namaparat. This becomes namaparat because then I'm sinning on the account of chanting the holy names because I know, you know, that holy name will uh, eradicate the sin. Done. Now, this is the seventh offense to the holy name. We don't do this. If accidental fall down happens, that's okay. The holy name will save us, but not if we make it intentionally. So we should do our best and just try to be a little sincere. And we recognize, yeah, I'm not perfect. I have these desires. And desires might not be sinful. They may be also, you know, just, you know, small, petty material desires, you know,
Yeah.
desiring to eat, you know, nice ice cream and this and that. Then okay, I mean, Krishna, he's not a, you know, some tyranny, autocrat. He wants also his devotees to be happy. So eat that ice cream, offer it first to Krishna, somehow, you know, connect it to Krishna. Or if you desire some nice material thing, you know, to buy, you want to buy a house, okay, offer it to Krishna somehow, invite devotees to the house, use it somehow in Krishna's service. So similarly, when we, you know, want to eat, we will cook what we like to eat, but okay, we offer it to Krishna. So this is called dovetailing things in Krishna consciousness. You know, if you are Italian, you'll make a pizza and you offer pizza to Krishna. If you're Chinese, noodles, what will you offer to Krishna? Whatever. Yeah. So in
Yeah,
this way, connect to Krishna, and that will purify the whole thing. That will purify the material desire. This link to Krishna.
very good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So let us read a little more. Who is there? Right? Did Subhadra Mataji read?
Yes,
Would you like
Prabhu.
to read? Yes, thank you.
Yes. एवं जनम निपतितं प्रभुवाहि कूपे कामाभिकामम् अनुयः प्रपतन् प्रसंगात् कृत्वात्मसात् सुरसीन भगवन् गृहीतः सोऽहं कथं नु विसृजे तव भृत्यसेवम्. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narad Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Purport. As will be seen in later verses, even though Prahlad Maharaj was directly offered all the benedictions he might have desired, he refused to accept such offerings from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the contrary, he asked the Lord to engage him in the service of his servant Narad Muni. This is the symptom of a pure devotee. One should serve the spiritual master first. It is not that one should bypass the spiritual master and desire to serve the Supreme Lord. This is not the principle of a Vaishnava. Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera charana se vibhakta sanevasa janame haya e abhilasha. One should not be anxious to offer direct service to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one become a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Das Das Anudasa. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 13, verse 80. This is the process for approaching the Supreme Lord. The first service should be rendered to the spiritual master so that by his mercy, one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to render service. While teaching Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Lata Beach. So Chaitanya Amrita Madhyam Lila, chapter 19, verse 151. One can achieve the seat of the devotional service by the mercy of the Guru, the spiritual master, and then by the mercy of Krishna. This is the secret of success. First, one should try to please the spiritual master, and then one should attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says, Yashya prasadat bhagvat prasado. One should not attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by concoction. One must first be prepared to serve the spiritual master, and when one is qualified, he is automatically offered the platform of direct service to the Lord. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj proposed that he engage in the service of Narad Muni. He never proposed that he engage directly in the service of the Lord. This is the right conclusion. Therefore, he said, So aham katham nu vishrije tava britya sevam. How can I give up the service of my spiritual master who has favored me in such a way that I am now able to see you face to face? Prahlad Maharaj prayed to the Lord that he might continue to engage in the service of his spiritual master, Narad Muni. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
You see it? Surya Mataji, you want to read
Yeah,
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur?
Yes, you have said that service to me is the cause of my mercy to you. You have excluded favoritism by the example of the desired tree. But what is the cause of this service? Following persons with concepts of high and low, filled with all desires, who have fallen in the material snake hole. I have also fallen in by their association. I have been accepted by Narad, who has made me his own possession. Let this jiva be mine. By force he has taken me by the hand, brought me near to him, taught me the king of mantras, and had me serve him. Have fallen in the hole of samsara. I have now become your devotee. Without his mercy, this was not possible. How can I give up service to my guru, your servant? The karmis and the jnanis, on attaining their goal, give up the sadhana. I can't be like that. On the path of bhakti, when the sadhana gives result, devotee who attain the Lord, such as Dhruv, still had a desire for sadhana of association with devotees and other processes. Bhakti muhu pravahatam tayi me prasango Bhuyat ananta mahatam amalasayanam yenagya so vanam uruvyasanam bhavabdhim neshe bhavat gunakatamrita panamatah. O unlimited Lord, may I always have the association of great devotees with pure hearts who perform bhakti to you. By his association, intoxicated from drinking the nectar of your pastimes and qualities, I shall easily combat the ocean of material existence, full of terrible suffering. Drishtam tavan Tam tavangri yugalam janatapvargam brahmadibhirdi vichintyam agadabodhe संसारकूपपतितोरनावलम्बं ध्यायंश्चरामि अनुग्रहण यथा स्मृति स्यात्. Now I have seen your feet, which grant liberation to your devotees, which even Lord Brahma and other great personalities of unfathomable intelligence can only meditate upon within their hearts, and which those who have fallen into the well of material existence resort to for deliverance. Please favor me so that I may constantly think of you as I travel about. Please grant me the power to remember you. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 69, verse 18. Considering this, I pray that you take me to the side of your servant. States in verse. Okay, this verse, right, is saying, so he is saying that Narad Muni has instructed him how to achieve the transcendental position. So therefore, he is saying that his first duty is to serve Narad Muni. And then in his proper Prabhupada saying, one should not jump over and serve the Lord directly. One should first render service to the spiritual master, and by his mercy, one can approach the personality of Godhead to render service. So also Rupa Goswami, while teaching, Rupa Goswami Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said this. And so we can achieve Krishna, devotional service of Krishna by the service of Guru or by the servant of the servant of the servant. So, and that is the secret of success. So we should first please the spiritual master and get the mercy of the spiritual master, and then then Krishna will be pleased, and we will get the mercy of Krishna also. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Yasya Prasada Bhagavad Prasada. So we can't please the Lord directly. We should always go through the servant of the servant of the servant. And here Narad Muni is telling to the Lord is approaching him to get direct. He could do the direct service, or he could, approach the Lord directly. But he said, "No, how can I jump from let my spiritual master down and get the service?" So he wanted to serve his spiritual master first. I think that I understood from this.
Yes, thank you. And the guru principle here is the main point, that one approaches the Lord and gets the mercy of the Lord by the mercy of Guru. So in this particular case, who taught Prahlad Maharaj about bhakti? It was Narada Muni, but Prahlad was still in the womb. Otherwise, how he would know it? How he would do anything? So the one who guides us towards the Krishna, who is teaching us devotional service, he is the guru, one who helps us the most in our spiritual life. He is the first guru. It could be Diksha, it could be Shiksha. It's not necessarily, we just, have a conception that, Guru is only Diksha Guru, but this is not correct. What is much more important than the ceremony of initiation, which is a formality, is the guidance, is the one who is helping us by teaching us to perform devotional service. And obviously, we are all here due to mercy of Srila Prabhupada, who wrote all these books for us. Without them, who would be on the part of devotion, who would, outside of India especially, who would know about Krishna at all? So he's our primary guru, Srila Prabhupada. as they say, preeminent Shiksha Guru. Through his mercy, we are all trying to be devotees. So we all owe great gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. By his mercy, we have an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. And then there are other gurus, like our Diksha Guru, who is giving us initiation, and so many of Shiksha Gurus who are also helping us by giving us guidance. They are all Krishna's representatives, and we are all should be all grateful to them, all together. Okay, so
Prabhu,
yes, Mataji.
and so here it is that one first serve one's guru, and then one is qualified and can serve the Lord. So my question is, at which stage does one can serve the Lord, offer the direct service to the Lord?
At which stage he can offer direct service to the Lord?
Yeah.
Once you are liberated, direct service, I mean, when you are doing, for example, puja to your deities, this is direct service. You're already doing direct service, but by the mercy of all your gurus who taught you how to do this. When you're chanting the holy name, you're in direct touch with the Krishna in the form of transcendental sound vibration. So again, this is direct service. But who taught you about this chanting? By his mercy, you are chanting these holy names and you are rendering devotional service. So direct service, it's not something that is only waiting for you in the spiritual world. Even in the spiritual world, when you go there, you're not rendering service to Krishna alone, but for example, if you are a cowherd boy, there are so many other cowherd boys, and they all serve Krishna together, and there are some senior cowherd boys, or if you're Manjari, there are, group leaders, and then you under that group leader, and then all you together, you serve Radha and Krishna, and things like this. You are doing devotional service, which is direct, but in the same time, it's indirect because you are doing in association and with the help of others. So, at which stage? At this stage, there, you render already direct devotional service because it's to Krishna, but you're also serving, the Guru, and you're serving the Vaishnavas. So all this is non-different. If I say, oh, you can render direct devotional service on the stage of prema, even that might not be true, because then again in the spiritual world there are so many, those who are rendering devotional service to Radha and Krishna, and only Rupa Manjari is the closest, for example, and all others are under Rupa Manjari and Lalita Sakya and that Sakya and that Sakya. You're all under them. So in that sense, it's not direct devotional service because you are going through to the chain of different service at different levels. But at the same time, it's also a service to Krishna. So when you're chanting Krishna's holy names, it's by mercy of your Guru you're chanting it, but it's also direct service. So it's not black and white to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you worship the deities, who is doing this? You can say, "Oh, my guru is doing." No, you are doing it. Your guru, you're offering everything to your guru, but of course, but you're doing the puja. So is it direct or not direct? It's the direct. When you chant the name, who is chanting the name? It's not your guru chanting the name. You are chanting the name. So you are again directly serving Krishna. It's not that you cannot approach Krishna, but again, it's done by the help and through the mercy of the Guru Parampara. So that's why we are going through Guru Parampara. So it's not that It's not that we cannot approach Krishna directly. You can also offer prayer to Krishna directly. This is also devotional service. You stand in front of Radha and Krishna and you're offering prayers to them. It's not that your guru is offering prayers and you have to tell everything to your guru and then your guru repeats your words to Krishna. No, you are directly speaking, offering your prayer to Krishna by the mercy of Guru.
Yeah.
Is this clear, Mataji?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we'll stop here already. We went for 1 hour, 45 minutes. If there is no other comments or questions, we can continue next Wednesday. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhagavata ki jai, Vanchakalpatarusya, Sindhu Bhavasya, Prakritinam Pranam Vaishnava.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.